Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're all doing well. So in this video I'm going to cover the embargoed section of Jurgen Klopp's presser for the Leeds game the other day. Now, just to give a bit of context to this, when he did the conference the other day and we all saw it publicly to start with, and you made the comment about we can't sign six £100 million signings in one window, startly, that pissed me off. It did. I think it wound up a lot of Liverpool fans as well, because I don't think there's many Liverpool fans out there that are asking for six £100 million signings, yeah? And obviously all this has come off the back of Liverpool have supposedly pulled out of the running to sign Jude Bellingham. Now, it's just frustrating for me, just to give a bit of context on this Jude Bellingham situation, that we've spent 2 years being told basically that he's the guy we want. We did go for Tuchemane last season, and just all the stuff we've done with Jude Bellingham, the club would have known for ages now how much money this kid was going to cost. And then obviously we've got the rumours of that something happened over the Easter break with Jude Bellingham's representatives in Liverpool. That type of thing would not have happened, and then if Liverpool were not interested, do you know what I mean? Like, it just would not have happened. So some stuff doesn't add up. So that's why I'm kind of going a bit towards the point that Liverpool have cooled interest just due to the fact that it's getting a bit hot and Dortmund have got a title race going on. They don't want anything announced or anything to do like that can cause any sort of distraction to their Bundesliga charge, basically. And that's kind of what I'm sticking with right now for the moment. I still have a little hope that Jude Bellingham could sign for Liverpool. And the other thing that kind of inclined me to that as well is that Paul Joyce's article was first named Liverpool cools its interest in Jude Bellingham, and then the day after it was changed to ends interest in Jude Bellingham. Now, why has that happened? That's because he's been told that the first headline was not strong enough, was not definitive enough, shall we say. So that's why I'm kind of inclined to believe the point that Liverpool have cooled interest to calm it all down, because they don't want to have a Virgil van Dijk situation where we had to wait another window to sign him. And you've seen the stuff that's come out today. It's Sunday today. You've seen some of the English media writing today that Jude Bellingham's going to decide to stay at Dortmund another season and make a better decision next year and not be rushed into making a decision this year. Now, if that's true, then that kid has his heart set on signing for Liverpool, in my opinion. Like, he could move anywhere in the world, and then within the same week it's come out that Jude Bellingham, Liverpool are no longer interested. If this is legit, that's come out today, that he's willing to stay at Dortmund another year because he doesn't want to rush a decision, they're linked to them. They're linked 100%. So, yeah. Anyway, to the embargoed section of Klopp's presser the other day. Klopp redeemed himself in my eyes that day, that on this section here. Like I say, when the first part came out, I thought it was a little bit having a dig at the fans, but now he hasn't had, I'd say, an explicit dig at the owners like Antonio Conte, but he has put the onus on them. Like, he's basically saying, like, let's just go through some of his quotes. Like, so it basically says that he's got a budget to work with. Somebody tells you the prices, and what can you do? The decision of the budget comes from the owners, and the other decisions come from us. And if the budget is the budget, then we can only do what we can do. So basically what he's saying there is, he wants certain players, the owners give him a certain amount of money, he knows how much work he needs doing in the side, so basically he can't spend all of his budget on one player because he's got other things he needs to fix. So that's it there. He's basically put it on the owners. I can only do what I can do. He goes on to say in another one of these, I'm just trying to find it now, if I can find everyone. He goes on about the reporters. He says, some things you write are so often far from the truth, it's unbelievable. Not because you want to lie, just because you follow something that another reporter says, which is true and all. We see a lot of the Liverpool clique wait for a Paul Joyce or David Ornstein or something like that to come out, and then they all just jump on and say, oh, I knew this all along. I knew this all along. Do you know what it is, guys? Like, the Liverpool reporters now, and I don't know if this is the same for every other club, because I don't really follow every other club, but the ones that have pretty much, that do anything to do with Liverpool, yeah, I do not believe a word they say anymore. Like, even Paul Joyce, when Paul Joyce put that article out the other day about Jude Bellingham, and I started reading it, I was like, I don't believe you what you're saying, because none of it adds up. It does not add up. I do not believe a word that they say. And I was talking to some friends, like, straight away as soon as it broke, and I said, I don't know why, but I just don't believe it. It doesn't make sense. He goes on again. There are a lot of good players out there, and we are interested in all good players, and some of them, hopefully, will come here in the end. They will be seen as great signings after the season, maybe not before the season. I have no clue, because they play incredible football. So that's the idea, not to be unhappy with the things that we do. So basically what I take from that is, he's looking at players along the lines of what I've asked us to do, which is Gini Wijnaldum, when we signed him, Andy Robertson. You know, players that have got relegated from Premier League sides, or players that don't cost as much, players that have got a point to prove. We've seen Ryan Gravenberch that's been linked with us very, very heavily today. I'm going to do a separate video on who I think Liverpool will go for now that they don't get Jude Bellingham now. I'm going to do like I don't know, maybe 5 signings I would do with the Jude Bellingham one if that could improve the side. But anyway, we've seen that Gravenberch is now heavily linked with Liverpool. There's been images of him, I've got it there, it's on my screen now, an image of him wearing a Liverpool top. You know, there's all these things saying he's not doing really well at Bayern, why would we go sign him? You know, his agent was at Liverpool in January. All them rumours that Liverpool were trying to get him on loan in January. I think this guy is going to come to Liverpool. I pretty much think it's going to happen. You know, there's rumours that it's 25 million, which again is a snip. You know, he's 20 odd years old, this kid. I'm not going to go into a deep dive on everything that he's done now, because that's for another video. But this is the type of player that I'm trying to say who's got a point to prove. He was at Ajax, he bossed it, gone to Bayern, not worked. Does he come to Liverpool and hit the ground running and start bossing it again? Maybe. Now, on the owners, Klopp says, if I'm angry, we don't all of a sudden have more money. The way we did it in the past is the way we will always do it in the future. I cannot change that. So again there, he's going on about saying he doesn't agree with... I think there's actually a quote where he says, I don't agree with everything. Yeah, it's there, the next one up. What do you want to know from me? Is it that I am angry at the owners? I am not. I don't agree all the time with everything we do, but I'm employed here. I'm not here to be angry about things that way or may not work out. Now, I kind of get where he's coming from, so... And I know as fans that we can be a little bit passionate about stuff, but you got to see it. Like, so basically Klopp is... Yeah, he's in a high-paid job, but at the end of the day, he is an employee, and he's just like us, basically. So if you were to go to work, for instance, yeah, and start kicking off about you needed this equipment or whatever, and your owners were just like, your boss was like, nah, it's not happening. If you started going, well, I want it, it's not going to happen, I need it now, I can't do my job. What is that going to change? Or are you potentially going to lose your job? Like, it's the same situation, isn't it? Do you know? It's the reason why they didn't get Rafa back. It's the reason why they didn't want Dalglish in charge, because these were people that were going to argue back a lot and ask for a lot and make it public, like we've seen Rafa do before. And we all know that Dalglish had like the support of the fans a 1,000-fold. Like, you know what I mean? And Klopp is that way now. If Klopp came out and actually called out the owners, he would have the support of the fans 100%. But I just think he's a professional man who does his job with the tools he's given. You know, he did sign a contract on the precipice of, this is what you've got to work with, mate. Like, you know, FSG have done stuff a certain way, and they're going to just keep doing it, aren't they, guys? Like, I'm not looking forward to this summer. I really am not. Especially if we get no investment and the club's not sold. Like, I can see us selling a few players to fund this build. I really can, guys. Especially if we miss out on the Champions League. And I'm not talking about like Phillips or Kelleher. I'm Jota, Salah. I can see them being sold to fund this. Fabinho. Yeah, it's madness, innit? when he says there, like, you know, we've always done things the same way. Yeah, buy to sell, sell to buy. Sorry, sell to buy. And it's just going to be the same thing again, isn't it? You know. The last bit I want to touch on with the embargoed section was he was pressed on how other clubs have more money to do certain things with, and basically it was implied to Klopp, if you went to another club, you could go and spend the money you wanted on players you wanted, blah, 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 blah. And Klopp turned around and said, like, this is my club. Are you suggesting I quit here and wait for the next job? I don't know what you want from me, honestly. We have to do business in the market, and we will do. That bit there, when he said, this is my club, is where I just fell in for him again, and everything he'd said earlier on in the day was just forgiven for me. Like, you know, Klopp is one of the greatest managers at this moment in time, and he could leave Liverpool and he could go elsewhere and have more success, have more money, get the players he wanted. You know, there's players that we know he's wanted that he's just not had. Daniel Marlin, Timo Werner, you know, now we've got Jude Bellingham. These are just all kind of linked players that he wanted and was not allowed to have. You know, he says here that, like, there's 12 midfielders we're interested in on the market and we'll sign some. And yeah, I just think at the end of the day, this embargoed section I'm trying to get across is just, I kind of forgave Klopp from what I said earlier on in the day. I hope I've made sense in this video, and I hope that I've kind of broke it down. That's what I try to do on this channel, is just analyse what he says and give my thoughts and opinions on it all. But I hope I've not waffled on a bit too much. I feel like I have. But anyway, guys, what do you think about all this with what Klopp said? You know, when he mentioned how you can't go for Kylian Mbappe from now on and say that's the only offensive player we want, and then realise in the end that if he goes to Madrid or stays at PSG as an example, it makes no sense. So there was loads of reports, weren't there, again, where Liverpool are putting all their eggs in the Bellingham basket, and he just said there, like, it makes no sense to do that. Anyway, I'm just waffling now. Let me know what your thoughts down below on this video, guys. I don't really think it's that good, to be fair. I'm still going to put it out though. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, put a comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.